So it was asked, Cyrus, how would you play Vanquish Soul Pure now that Razin and Staker Soul are gone? To 1. Well, we have been labbing. We've been thinking really hard. How can we do this? How can we still make Vanquish Soul good without consistency? So I'm here to tell you, we cracked the code. We got a deck profile for you. So without further ado, let me show you the deck profile on how we can play Vanquish Soul pure. No K9 involved. None of that turn 0 plays making your opponent want to vomit. We're talking pure Vanquish Soul, pure mind games, and pure fighting combos. So let's show you the deck profile. All right, so you asked, and here we are with our newly pure Vanquish Soul deck profile. To kick things off, sadly the unfortunate one and only Razin. May you rest in peace, my good friend. 3 copies of Vanquish Soul Dr. Madlove, 3 copies of Holly Sue, 1 Caesar, 2 Borger, and 2 Xiaolong. So I would like to play more than just the 2 Xiaolong, but I only have 2. So, but I think for this it still works out. I think it still works out. Nonetheless, we do play 2 copies of Start Now, 1 Stake, and then 1 Snow Devil. I think this is as best as we're going to get for pure Vanquish Soul. Like I said in the Rescue Ace video, the pure K9 version is definitely, or the K9 Vanquish Soul version is probably the best version to play. And if you want to profile on that, I have been messing around with one. So we'll maybe eventually get to that. But because it just allows for a lot more plays that do help with advantage. Not to say that the pure doesn't. It just requires more brain power to do it. Next, we are playing 1 copy of Reinforcement of the Army, 1 Pot of Prosperity, and then 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance, because the extra deck is free. The only thing we really need is Rock of the Vanquisher. That's it. Everything else is just nice to have cards. Rock is our rock for this deck. And then the rest of this is non-engine. As you can see, we're playing Prosperity and Extravagance. So where would we be if we also did not play the copies of Rescue's Impulse and the 1 Fire Attacker for more drawing, the 3 copies of Mulcharmy Fuelos because drawing, and then the 2 copies of Mulcharmy Perulia for, again, drawing. Because that is the one thing that this deck needs is consistency. Losing Razin and Stake to 1, you lose out on a lot of consistency. So you need as many draw cards as you can. So Extravagance, Prosperity, that's 4 already. You get the Fire Attacker, that's 5. You get Fuelos, that's 8. Perulia, 10. And then you add it off with 2 copies of Phantasme to put you at 12. So, I mean, a lot of draw cards. If you also want to throw Rhoda in there, that's another one. But we just need to see as much drawing as we can. So that's why you play such a heavy draw card count. While also Fire Attacker and Impulse act as fire attributes, which we lost out on fire. Phantasme acts as dark. We don't necessarily need, but you have it if you need it. Next, we do play 1 copy of Dogoran because we do respect any tower-like decks. Looking at Lunalite, for instance, and then anything that might be coming into the meta with the Typhon deck, the DDD, because DDD can be a very, when it pops off, it pops off. Draco Tail might be able to, even if they incorporate Dragoon back into the strategy, you know, Dogoran's a great out to it. So there's that. We also play 3 copies of Ash just because Ash is Ash. Ash also stops the Mulcharmies. 2 copies of DD Crow because Dark Attribute, Graveyard Removals, really nice against Yummy, Draco Tail. And then occasionally into the DDD matchup, but it's very occasional. And then the Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion for K9. DD Crow also check K9, Ghost Bell, just any graveyard reliancy. So So that's a lot of non-engine, just so that way we can see, Razin in some form of another. We got the Extravagance, the Prosperity, the Rhoda. So I mean, if you incorporate, all of this, you're seeing a lot of draws that could benefit you. So it's really, really important to have. And then the extra deck is just pretty much throwaway stuff. You got Exiton, Vanquish Rocks, Baguska, numbers 101, Silent on Arc, Nash, Valon, C101, CXEs, C107. Again, like, these are good to have if you need them. Like, if you don't see the Prosperities, you don't see the Extravagances, these do a lot of great things for the deck. We've seen Nash Knight the Valon for the K9 version, and it just does a lot. Vanquishful Rocks, being able to just give you more. Exiton into Zeus is just really crazy. But the really one card you need is Rock of the Vanquisher. Rock is the rock of this deck, being able to play on your opponent's turn, be able to get recursion back from the graveyard, just being able to do a lot for you. So Rock is the most important piece. And then, of course, one copy of SP Little Knight, because SP is also just really good for this deck too. I have thought about playing more copies of SP Little Knight, playing just multiple copies of Rocks, the Valon, because you can live without the Nash Knight stuff. Just so that way, when Prosperity and Extravagance resolve, we already have a mindset of okay, as long as these cards are still here, we're okay. We're playing multiple copies of it, we'll be okay. Kind of the same instance with Rock. We want to play multiples, so that way we see it often in our extra deck when we do pay the cost for Extravagance or pay the cost for Prosperity. But more times than not, you are paying XD's cost for Prosperity. Extravagance is the gamble card, so that's where you're just really wanting to be okay, please don't hit Rock. But that's it for the pure Vanquish Soul deck profile. Honestly, we'll see if I end up taking this to a locals just to see how well it does. I'm more leaning towards K9 just because that is a little bit more resilient, and I've tested it enough to where I know how to play it. So there's that. But Vanquish Soul will always have a soft spot in my heart. Just post ban list, it does suck, but I think the deck still can make some waves when you know what you're doing. But that's it for this video. Like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. Let me know if you guys do like this format, or if you want digital format, use EDO Pro. Let me know. I'm just testing out a couple things, so we'll see where we go from there. But I'll pass it over to you.